that what about Muslim factories, or what about food factories which are processed in food, which are owned by non-Muslim, and the workers are non-Muslim, and that worker at home, they have pork curry, and when they come to the factory with the same hands, they are holding food. Isn't it haram? Just because the Muslim organization gives a halal logo, does it become halal? Now this is an absurd thinking, that just because non-Muslims at home, if they have pork, now when they eat pork, do you mean to say they don't wash their hands and they come with that same dirty hand of pork and they come to the factory? And the answer is no. It is useless. It is nonsense. And if certain non-Muslims are doing this, no Muslim or non-Muslim country will agree that they're having food at home and with their dirty unwashed hand they are touching food. Even a non-Muslim country won't agree with it. So you saying that a non-Muslim, because at home he's touching pork and he comes to the factory with the same hands, of course he's washed his hands. It is illogical. It's like a non-Muslim telling me that, these Muslims, when they go for call of nature, when they go for defecation, they wash their backside with their hands and they wipe the excreta with their hand, and with the same hand they make their food. Will you agree with the argument? And you laugh at them. Okay, yes, we Muslims, for hygiene, when we go to the long call of nature, we wash. But after washing, what do? We wash our hands also with soap. And once you wash your hand with the soap, your hand becomes clean. And once you cook the food with your hand, it's acceptable. If there is a lunatic Muslim who goes to the washroom and washes his backside after call of nature, and with the dirty hands he cooks food, it is haram in Islam. The excreta of a human being is more bad than the pork. Even the excreta is haram. So it's illogical for you to agree with the argument of a non-Muslim that just because Muslims, when they go to the toilet with their hands, they wash their backside, with the same hand they cook their food, they're unhygienic. You will call them fools. Yes, we are hygienic people. We wash our backside, we are clean. But after we wash our hands with soap. So this argument is nonsense for a Muslim to say that the non-Muslim at home, he has pork, and with that same hand, he is handling food. This is illogical argument. So it is nonsense for you to say that if non-Muslims touch, yes, if the non-Muslim touch food, they may be touching with the gloves, the hand should be clean. If it's dirty, it's unhygienic. If it's not dirty, it's acceptable. It's not haram at all. What we can object is that you can go to a restaurant which serves pork, and there can be high possibility that the utensils which they serve pork, they can serve the other food which is halal, and you object to it, I agree with you. Or if you go to a restaurant which is serving alcohol, and that same glass can be used for serving water to you, and it may be not hygienic, I agree with you. But you're talking about a factory where non-Muslims are working because they have haram food at home with their hands, and the same hands they are using for making food here. It's illogical. And please, when an Islamic organization puts a halal logo, you have to trust. And Malaysia is one of the strictest as far as halal certification is concerned. I don't know of any country which is as strict as Malaysia as far as the certificate of halal logo is to be given. It is centrally controlled by the government. There is a separate organization called JAKIM, and they are very strict. Amongst all even if you go to Saudi Arabia is not as strict as Malaysia. So even if the mutton is imported from India, they see to it that Malaysia sends its own people to the factory of that company, and they see it and they strictly monitor it, and they see to it that they fulfills the conditions of the Sharia, see to it that the Zabiyah is done correctly, it is done merciful, and it's done in the proper way. They are very strict. So you cannot just talk about, any organization. Malaysia is very strict. Yes, there are occasions where somebody, I know that in the last few months, there were occasions that some of the officers bribed, and there was a cartel that was, trying to smuggle in non-halal meat. That's a stray incidences. And of course they were exposed and they were caught and the problem was solved. But as a whole, Malaysia, alhamdulillah, is the best country in the world as far as halal certification is concerned, and they are so strict that sometimes they go overboard, and it's good. They are very strict. So if it's a certification from Malaysia, you can be rest assured that it is correct. Unless you have evidence in certain stray incidences, it's a different case. But as far as what is happening in Malaysia, if it's certified by the Malaysian government and by the Islamic organization, you can be rest assured and have it, and don't have to really go and do much investigation unless there's evidence of proof. Hope that answers the question.